The time is 1:04 p.m. the 26th of November 2024. Okay, I still wear these. I've had these for 4 years. I'm too poor. My poverty and the fact that I say I can't, it's clearly people fucking doing that to me. Okay, because, oh God, dude, I'm completely the opposite of that. Okay, I recovered from the poison. Last time they poisoned me, I'm able to say it now. I was looking at my Amazon app, and after about 2 minutes of putting up Tide laundry detergent and just getting my basic essentials ready to buy them in a couple weeks, I got poisoned so bad. The poisons are different here. This is the victim telling the good guys. I'm not telling the good guys right now, but whoever listens to this knows what I mean. I'm the victim telling the good guys. There's different poisons they're using on me. I'm the fucking victim of it, and I can tell by the pain and how sick it makes you. This most recent one makes you really sick. It's not meant for diarrhea, but it's not as bad as the first two today. The one I walked into was the worst, and it's so scary. You don't know if you're going to live. In your body, everything's out of control, and they kept pumping and pumping, and I just kept going diarrhea up to 3 separate times, completely crippled and helpless, okay? Until they finally fucking stopped. The second time was the same way, and all I was doing was touching my Amazon app. And the third time, all I did was touch my camera phone app. The third time, it was a different chemical weapon. It's just as bad. You're just totally terrified, and you think you're dying, but it's not as lethal. You can feel how... The other shit's like cyanide. I'm telling you, man. And then I raced to the bathroom after I hung the camera phone up, and I just gushed it out. And then they pumped more in my bathroom, and they gushed more out of my intestines. And I am scared. I eat food, and they just rape it out of me. As soon as I eat, it's all coming back out. They poison me. They'll poison me after I eat. Within 5 to 10 minutes after I've cooked and ate something, they're lighting my room up with poison. They do it all the time, but I can't testify or talk about it anymore. I can't talk about the construction. That's around here 365 days a year, circled and around the perimeter at a 360 degree. I can't talk about anything on the street, anything in the backyards. I can't talk about anything that I've been witnessing in here. There's even the last few days that has to do with anything in this house. The only thing I'm able to say, and I would like to continue, is the cannibalism, which I've been witnessing for 3 weeks. Since I put that one up that you can go ahead and scroll down the testimonies and see it says cannibalism, and I had to stop talking about it. They have not stopped here. And there's massive, massive, massive events that go on every time. Like clockwork with the cannibalism, okay? Every time like clockwork. So that day I was referencing before I got poisoned about doing laundry, I had been running the water and there was all this events going on, okay? But I'm forbidden from saying anything. And just like clockwork, that was the second time they just out of nowhere started cannibalizing in that compartment area that I have tried to say where I'm detecting it from, where I'm clearly identifying it coming from. And at the time I was in the second floor, I was in the hallway, and my whole house was lit up with fucking fried human flesh on the hot skillet with their fucking seasoned salts that they put on it. It was about 2 in the afternoon. I was completely freaked out, and my eyes were bugging out of my head. And I was holding my hand over my mouth. It was stinking, and I was gasping, and like not gasping for air, but gasping in shock, in complete fucking shock. Okay? So if anybody knows how close we are to having tanks and flags drive down the road, I fucking do. Why I say the Russian military, there's two. The evil Russian military is really pissed at the Middle East. This is why. Because the country of Russia now has a world war that they are waging. It's in the papers for all these scumbags in America to read it. And they have a raging Muslim, Saudi Arabian, ISIS, Iranian terrorist cell that the Middle East has taken completely over. The Middle East with their Latin drug cartels, remember they're the same. It's actually the Middle East. They're the biggest kings of the drug smuggling, okay? Please remember that. It'll help you understand what's going on. They have completely taken over this place. All right? To my best witness accounts, yes, it's being completely driven by the Middle East. And with that, the cannibalism has come back full force. So, there's been 4 times I've witnessed cannibalism, okay? The other 3 times were all at night. Just like the time I just said when I was in the middle of the day, they did it. And there was all this massive events that I'm sworn to silence about. I just can't say it. Can't say fucking nothing, not one word about what I'm talking about, okay? But it's always going along with that. And with that, and these other 3 times came at night, they start frying up human organs and flesh on the hot skillet, and they filled my whole house up. And then last night they did it again, okay? But I'm forbidden from talking about last night, but I can say this, God will give me this much to say. It stunk so bad. I almost ran outside my house. It was so bad, the stench. They had the hot skillet going. They had all sorts of parts of membranes. I don't know what they were ingesting, but it was definitely human organs and tissues, and it stunk so bad. And it's the exact same stench, which Jesus will let me go ahead and clarify, that I smelled William Murray and Gwendolyn Ball when they were on their cannibalism campaign before they both died. Okay, so I'm just going to say, if anybody knows how close we are to having ISIS, Iranian, Saudi Arabian tanks and flags going down 15th Avenue here, going down Connecticut Avenue here in Washington, D.C., taking over the Capitol, I know. All right, because the cannibalism is just a way of life here now. It's just part of the routine here, okay? And they're protected by the cops. I've witnessed the police, the fire. I've witnessed the feds. I've witnessed U.S. military. Goddamn, who else have I not witnessed, right? You know my point, right? I'm making, if I get my words confused. Who else have I? It's just astounding. They literally are protecting cannibals. The reason why they do it is because it's coming from the Middle East. They'll do anything these terrorists out of the Middle East are telling them to do. This is also Hamas, Hezbollah, all that Egypt area. They'll do anything they say. The people in D.C., I can't testify, and I can't get into a lot of description about this. Oh, I'm forbidden. But they're highly addicted to substance narcotics here. They have a flow. They can get their drug. And the last thing they will ever want in life is to not be able to get their drug as easily as it's been catered to them. So, you spend long enough, like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and counting in a heavy drug scene, you become what you do. You become those people. You do drugs for a couple years, you can easily get out of it and get better. But 5, 6, 7 years is really hard to rehabilitate after that. You become a habitual, and you can become a hardened criminal. It depends on how far you take it with your addiction. And what I've witnessed is a lot of the people in Washington, D.C. have gone there with hard felony violent crimes. They've allowed their addiction to take them there instead of nonviolent crimes. But your addiction here in D.C. has taken them all into the criminal habitual element. So I'm dealing with a whole bunch of townspeople. They'll do anything for their dope and do anything what the Middle East tells them to do, okay? That includes the civil court, that includes all these cops of fire, all these freaks. I know a lot of them are white, okay? I know that, but that's why I brought up that the white nationalists out of Russia are really pissed off, okay? Because this does have to do with race. With some of these really evil militaries, it has to do with race and white domination. It doesn't necessarily have to do with a caliphate. and drug smuggling and holding on to a terror cell when you have ballistic weapons flying out of that very city where the terror cell is located. Some of this is completely insane, what they're doing in DC. Yes, whoever thought that, you're absolutely, completely correct. The fact this is raging and raging and they're frying people up in the hot skillet is really fucking serious. That's why I'm not able to talk about anything. But I'm telling you, if there's anybody who knows how close we are to these tanks and these flags flying down with the ISIS waving, the ISIS emblems waving, the Iranian flag waving, it's me. All right? I'm trying to stay calm about it, but all they do is poison me. And then there's so much other things, so much other just horrifying, unforgettable things that go on 24 hours a day here. Not just in here, but around. I can't even allude to what I'm talking about. I'm forbidden from saying one word. And then it gets worse and worse. The cannibalism is just, hey, it's part of how we are here on that street, is what they want to shout. It's fucking serious, okay? Last night, I almost ran out of here. It stinks so bad. I remember thinking, you have to be out of your mind to think you're going to eat that. But they do. I don't know why. I don't want to hear why, okay? Right now, I don't. But I used to know that about the Gwendolyn Ball and William Murray. They were two main of the terrorists here that left dead. All right? But it never stopped. It just kept going. And these are the people, the William Ball, I misquoted, the William Murray, the Thelma Hogue, the Gwendolyn Ball, this crowd, this terror cell of 1509 are literally taking me to their courthouse in the city. And that's what I mean by, if there's anybody who knows how close we are to having ISIS and the Revolutionary Guard roll down Connecticut Avenue past the Capitol building, it's me. Because these cannibals are projectively getting their briefcases ready to take me to court as a defendant. I'm the defendant. They are prosecuting me. I know what I'm witnessing in here. I'm doing it with my iPhone. I'm forbidden from talking about the good military. You can only figure the kind of gear and equipment that the good military possesses. Everybody fucking knows about the cannibalism and all the stuff I'm forbidden from talking about. But yet I'm still being fucking dragged like a fucking dumb baby around town like some little helpless doll. And I'm not. And I'm not the type of woman to say, I can't. But because of these fucking white nationalist terrorists, because they're still all around, the white supremacists and the white nationalists out of Russia, and these fucking Middle Eastern terrorists, these Muslim terrorists, okay, who decided to take over this fucking place the last few months, I'm still in here as helpless as it could possibly be. And it's really getting to me. So I'm really grateful to God that I could at least talk about the cannibalism. Now, I did a brief synopsis of the cannibalism. When you witness something like that, a victim and a witness has far more to say. I have much more I could say about just even one of the witness accounts. But I am not allowed, okay? That was all I'm allowed to discuss.